Welcome to Growing with Gateway. Today I'm going to show you how to grow potatoes. So we're coming outside today to plant potatoes. So what you need is potatoes, a label, and a container of some kind. So this is an old storage box which you'd need to put holes in the bottom, and you could put 4 potatoes in this. So you could use a bucket and that would have 1 potato in, or even a bag. So you can get specialist bags, but this is an old compost bag and I'm going to put 2 potatoes in that. Plenty of compost and water. So before you plant your potato, you need to chit it. So this is where you just put it in a sunny place to allow the sprouts to grow. And then you plant it with the sprouts pointing upwards. So we're going to plant in the bucket. So we're going to put 5 to 10 centimetres of compost in the bottom of the bucket, which of course has holes in it. And then we're going to water that just a little bit. So this is a seed potato, a variety called Charlotte, which is a second early. So I've bought these as a bag of seed potatoes, excuse me, and the rest was planted in the community garden. So seed potato acts like a seed in that it produces a plant, but it's the potato crop that grows on the roots of that plant. So we're going to place it in the compost with the shoots pointing upwards. And now we're going to cover it with compost. So we're not filling up to the top of the bucket, we're just putting about another 5 to 10 centimetres of compost on the top of that potato. And give it another water. And then add the label. So I've left space because we're going to let the potato grow, and then once it's about this height, we'll add more compost to it, which will bury the leaves, but it encourages the potato to grow more roots, so therefore you get more potatoes. And eventually we'll do it again, filling it to the top. So I've got an old compost bag which I've turned inside out. And the reason for doing this is that so the black will help heat up the compost and so promote growth. So I partly filled it up with compost already, ready for planting. So I bought a bag of seed potatoes and I've used 1 for the bucket and the rest went in the community garden. But generally a bag of seed potatoes is too many for a yard or a small garden. So one of the questions is, can you use potato from the supermarket that you would normally eat? Some people say yes, some people say no. You've probably ended up with a potato that looks like this in your cupboard, that's in effect chitted on its own. So we are going to give it a try. So this is a supermarket potato, and we're just going to plant it in the same way that we did in the bucket. And I'm also going to use a potato from last year's crop. So we grew this last year. It's got a little bit of chitting happening. We're going to try that one as well. So we'll put them in the compost, nestle them in, and then we're just going to cover them in the same way that we did for the bucket. Then we're going to give it a water. And label it. So once the leaves start coming up, we'll cover it again with compost, and we'll also roll the sides up so that we can get more compost in and eventually it'll grow to about here, and we'll keep covering it with compost. So you might also have a potato that's like this, that's got a few little bits of sprouts coming, but you don't want to risk putting it into a bag and maybe wasting it because nothing happens. So what you can do is test it by using a pot of some kind, half fill it with compost, put your potato in, cover it over with compost, and then give it a water and put it on your windowsill. So we're going to leave these potatoes in the sun to grow, and then once there's some leaves on them, I'll come back and I'll show you what you do to cover them with compost. We'd really love you to get involved with Growing with Gateway, and you can find our videos on our website www.thegatewaycollective.co.uk. We'd also love to see what you're growing, and you can do this by sharing on social media using the following hashtags. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to see what you grow.